So here we are back at Witch Haven, in the western end of the Morel. Haven't actually done anything here, although every time I see the big brown mushroom I think it really needs something doing to it. And I also still don't like these, but there you go. What we're actually here for is... boom. I know that was very dramatic, I'm sorry. So, basically, it's supposed to be a bunch of stone ripped out of the ground down here and left hovering in the sky by Aurelian using the World Shaper. It's referred to as the throne of the elements, but it's not really been sat in or on, so you know it's a bit misleading in that sense. But that's what it's called. It is actually mostly done. Some interior stuff that needs taken care of on this. We'll take a closer look at this in a minute. I'm actually outside at the moment. I think I still need to do some decorative work down in that little hole there. Yeah, so none of this is natural, obviously. Well, the hill is. This is a naturally occurring hill. The fact that I've converted this part and that part to cherry blossom or a cherry grove is something I've obviously been able to do using the fill biome command. The top of the hill has been converted to meadow, mostly to lighten it, really. Also to stop it snowing, which I think it does. I'm not completely sure on that. I may be wrong. I don't know. I never let the weather go, so I don't really know if it's actually done anything. So the general idea is this is actually a circle of land. It got closed in a bit. I don't think I really meant to go quite so lopsided, but I don't feel like it's harmed the building in any way. There's been a little bit of tweaking afterwards. This was shifted over a little bit. This was shifted over 3 or 4 blocks to make this slice bigger. I added on padding, built it out quite a bit. This didn't overhang like it used to be here. I think overall, actually, the one real lingering problem is it's remarkably thin. I think it's slightly misleading because the top part sticks out both sides, but the original build was, I think, much more circular, and I keep thinking that I really ought to just pad out both sides, you know, just come along and do this. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It will need to be carved afterwards. I'll need to smooth it out a little bit and do something similar on this side, just to give it a wider appearance. Actually, looking here, an alternative could be an entire new piece, but I'm not really sure how I want to go down that road. One thing to keep in mind is that this has crumbled since it was constructed by Aurelian. It's magical. Obviously, it's being held here by the power of the elements, particularly air. But that power is fading, and it's crumbling. It has crumbled. The hole from which it was taken has been filled with bits and pieces falling off, and is now just a rubble in here. I have started on it. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it. But like, you know, this is meant to be just like representing parts of the stonework falling in and crumbling against each other. Again, I'm not super sure where I'm going with it. It does go down another layer. And then I actually purposely dug down to see whether it opened out onto anything interesting, which, I mean, sort of does. It turned out all of this glowstone was already here. Oh, yeah, I remember. It eventually opens out onto the mining facility on the other side of the hill. Could be useful. I don't really know. I really dislike working underground. It gets tedious pretty quickly. But yeah, it comes out in these little holes, various holes here. It's a bit of a journey, which, you know, is a reason to ignore it. I don't want to get bogged down creating a connection over, you know, over something trivial. But these trees are going to need some work. I'm going to do 3 special trees, 2 there and 1 over there. You can't see there, but you can see they're a little bit rigid. It was worse. They were like completely flush, these sides. I put these dents in to give them some shape. What I'm actually going to do is just adjust where each of these parts are. So bring this one this way, that one that way, or this one very far this way, and then this one a little bit this way, and give it a little bit of a curve. I'm not going to go too overboard, otherwise I might as well just build the trees in the first place. But you know, nice way to incorporate a new biome that you absolutely cannot find anywhere within the Empire due to its age. But it's come together fairly nicely. It's been a headache, not surprising usually, as I suppose. I'm not liking these very much. I had this idea of just like a slow-moving, partially solidifying lava fall, rather than just letting the lava spill down by itself. You know, I hit on this idea of these pools that it was collecting in, and it was like, okay, yeah, we can go with that direction, that's fine. This has been modified a couple of times, and I'm still not really happy with it. Vertical slabs would help, but unfortunately we don't get them, because apparently Mojang thinks they would stifle creativity. And like, more like get in the way of it, not having them. Well, anyway, I don't want to get overboard complaining. I didn't like the extreme hills biome, or windswept hills as they're now called. The colour is obviously not very nice for what I was doing, so the moss has helped solve that. I didn't want to convert it to an ordinary plains or a meadow down here. This turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. Trying to figure out where to put the pools and the layering and how they connect is always difficult. But when I started doing it with the dripstone where the white is, and it was like, no, this is not going to work. Although thinking about it now, I probably could have just had overhang and used the actual stalagmites and stalactites themselves. But I think it's come out nice. It implies that something has been spilling over the edge for a long time and accumulating. I love the colour the water goes when it's in a cherry grove. It's so nice. And slightly more bizarrely, when it's caught in a meadow, it's really vivid blue. It makes me think meadows are cold. I'm not really that familiar anyway. But there really isn't much to do. I've been touching up the hill itself. I'm not going to do any terraforming. doesn't need it. It looks pretty fantastic by itself. I'm gonna do some texturing because, you know, texturing is occurring here. I need to do something with the bits that I'm not actually modifying. And then there's just like one spot over here. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. And another hole here. Yeah, that covers it. Bit of a head scratcher. I mean, it's funny, the original plan here was actually to build a readout. Can't see it from here. Martor? No, that's not right. Cantor. There we go. Yeah, Cantor over here. You know, just a fortress on a hill where they could retreat to. But I didn't like the fact it was going to be so close to that, which got built first. And then I put this in, so it was like, well, it just seems kind of silly to have another castle fortress home. So eventually I hit on this idea. Been on the back burner while I worked on the Morel. We spent like 4 months there, and I can't remember its bloody name. Anyway, that's what I've been doing, and what I'll probably be doing for at least a week. It may take longer, actually. There's a lot of fiddly work still to do, so, you know, I want to, I don't want to, yeah, I've still got my main project, big project that I want to go do next. Purposely postponed it to do this, because I didn't really want to have to come back to the Morel immediately afterwards. After I'm done with the next project, I want to go somewhere away from here. Well, I say that, but it may actually be Sorrenthal, but Sorrenthal will be very different from what I've been doing for the last 4 or 5 months, so 5 or 6 months. So anyway, with all of that rambling done, I shall say adieu and get on with some of this work. Let's see, there's a better shot of it over here. Let's see if I can get it, because it'll look nicer when there is a stack of glowstone in the distance. When I'm holding something smaller. It's kind of nice, I think. Maybe.